to you and Elon. You're also very polarizing, and you like to do things like I just want to do it. Let's do it this way. And I think part of that was the email that that went out and seemed to have gotten picked up. I was like, wow, this has gotten outside of I think I saw a Forbes article, maybe Business Insider, or some others. I'm sure there was a bunch of.
I was Wall Street Journal yesterday, and not only Wall Street Journal, but the most popular article on the Wall Street Journal, which I didn't see coming.
All right, I didn't see that.
So in our world, I don't know where I was sitting when I got the email, but it was then forwarded to me like 15 times and then sent around like all my text message groups and then in every Facebook group for the screen printing world. Tell us about that day. Walk us back.
It was wild. Yeah, every friend in my circle was getting called by their friend groups, like, what is going on?
So, like, is this after you were in Mexico and did like an ayahuasca? Like, what happened?
I was actually planning on fighting. I was going to get a haircut. I was like, maybe I was going to do just a simple exhibition. I hadn't like boxed seriously in a little while, so I was like training for a few weeks. I was going to do an exhibition. I was like, I'm going to go get a haircut, so I look good, right, for the fight. And just as I was about to get the haircut, this whole thing happened. A friend called me from the United States and said, President Trump was shot. And so I just wrote the whole thing while I was getting my haircut. Came home and posted it. And I don't remember the exact, play of events, but like the funniest part was like, I go home, I posted it at night. I was with my girlfriend who's Mexican. And the next morning she had an appointment to go to. So she said, listen, I'm gonna go to my appointment and I'll meet you afterwards for coffee. So I wake up, my phone's going crazy. So I'm trying to respond to people as quickly as possible. Then I go meet her at like 12 or 1. By the time I get there, I got 4% battery. So as soon as I get there, I say, hey, do you got the charger? And she said, oh, no, I didn't remember to bring it. And so we end up getting coffee and we end up going to dinner. Then we end up going for drinks after dinner. We don't get home until like 1 or 2 in the morning. And then she's like, and I finally plug my phone in and it's like the whole world's going nuts. And they're like, this guy just destroyed his company. He like, people are telling me to kill myself and do all that. The amount of rage was unbelievable. And, my girlfriend said, do you think any of these people could believe what your day actually was like? Because, the people thought like...
yeah, you're just sipping on espresso and...
yeah, like people thought...
nice martini.
I was going to like, it was like a traumatic experience for me. That was like how it happened. And then, I was unplugged the day it happened. And I was really impressed with our team. They kept an incredible sense of calm. So... as soon as I got plugged in, the next morning, I give him credit. Our PR director, who I just started and had asked me not to send not to send this, right? He's like, don't.
Of course.
There was a big thing, right? It was actually in Axios, but he was getting beat up all over LinkedIn, right? How can you work for this company? Yada, 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 and then I said, came out and said, he actually asked me not to do it. It was his third day on the job. And so...
All right, first task. No sticker mule swag yet or anything else, but
the guy didn't even get his employee welcome box.
Yeah,
that's baptism by fire.
Exactly.
What a way to that! Wow.
So all these people call me racist, whatever, but I'm not even speaking English for most of the time. Like my girlfriend doesn't really speak English. So, I live in Mexico and I box in gyms. My gym, I'm an owner in a gym in Mexico and nobody speaks English in a gym. My coach doesn't speak English. So, people are throwing all these weird names around at me. And, that was the reality of how it happened. Our PR director called me and said, I was just talking to the head of, customer support or head of sales. Sorry, he was talking to the head of sales and he said the amount of hate coming into our inbox was out of control. So I called our CFO during the Trump years. Like the economy was going nuts. Like we were growing so quickly, it was unbelievable. So we were able to issue $1,000 bonus to everyone back then. I never disclosed at the time, but we were close to 1,000 people. So it was a significant outlay of cash, over $1 million. And not only did we issue a bonus back then, but we grossed it up to cover taxes because whatever. So I said, let's do something similar for the support team to thank them for dealing with the nonsense that they were with whatever they were dealing with. And so we immediately issued a $2,500 bonus to everybody on the support team, which was 79 people. That was $200,000 for us to do that. And that was met really positively within the company. But aside from that, the sticker mill handled the whole thing really well. Like nobody,
So let me just back this up a little bit. Why did you feel look, it's your own company. It's your baby, right? Why did you feel
read maybe a segment of it too? Because I don't know if everyone who's listening is necessarily here. Let me. Yeah. So, hi there. Donald Trump was shot. I don't care what your political views are, but the hate for Trump and his support has gone too far. People are terrified to admit that they support Trump. Americans shouldn't live in fear. I support Trump. Many a sticker meal duel, but also many also support Biden. The political hate needs to stop. By the way, get one shirt for $4. I suggest you buy one to show you support Trump. There's a lot of compassionate people that support on both sides. Awesome people all over the world love Trump, but we should vocalize and stop the hate. All right, Stephen, go. And by the way, I should preface this too. Like, what's important here is I think the business angle is really the interesting aspect of being polarizing, because I've seen this happen before on both ends. I remember you've probably seen this. Expensify CEO sent an email back in 2020, said, it was something like democracy is, there's an issue. Right. You need to vote for Biden, right? And it sent it all out. And then their team just got totally hammered, I'm sure similar to yours, for the next month or so. And it was very polarizing, right? A lot of people, some people either left, a lot of people were interested in competitors. I'm sure some people gravitated more to wanting to use their product again. But there is a great dialogue of, how much to involve sort of political aspects and things that are outside of work in work. And that's where we found it interesting to discuss more. Okay, Steven, I just queued it up.
So like, why did you feel inclined, okay, at Campus Inc., we're only 75 employees, guys, girls, you name it, different backgrounds. And we just try to keep politics like off the, conversations, because we have an office in Chicago and a production facility in the middle of Central Illinois. So it's just different everything. And we all just kind of, we just keep it peaceful. Why did you feel inclined? And my business partner is 63 years old, double my age, from the middle of, Central Illinois. So like, why did you feel inclined to put your opinion in that and then like broadcast it? Was there something that moved you to want to do that? Was this a genius marketing play?
It ends up being, it wasn't, I didn't do it from a business perspective. I tell people, I haven't been trying to make money for a long time. So I think like, if you look at the world historically, like all the most successful people in business, they don't operate on the basis of trying to make money. They just try to do interesting things and solve big problems. Admittedly, I'm not an engineer, so there's a limitation on the types of problems I can solve. But I think like right now, this is, the hatred for Trump supporters is a big problem. You got a situation where tens of millions of people like hate hundreds of millions of other people and use all sorts of nasty slurs to smear them and they say all sorts of ridiculous things about them. It's been going on for 8 years. And I thought, I have the skill set to try to address it and fix it. So I viewed it as a big problem that I'm able to address and help.
So for you, it was like, I have an audience, I can make an impact here. I can vocalize this in such a way. And I don't think the message was like violent or aggressive, but like to get that kind of thing, I'm like, oh.
Well, I think it was a unifying message, because if you look at it, right, it didn't say the thing that the expensive guy was a polarizing message, right? Like, oh, if you don't vote here, democracy's coming to an end, the world's coming to an end. I simply said people here like Trump, they like Biden, and the hate in both directions needs to stop. Like, what people should realize, but a lot of people that have this like Trump hate don't realize it's very unhealthy. Is like, highly successful Trump supporters like myself, people with high IQs, maybe like myself, but we by and large stay quiet, right? Because if you got a high IQ, right, you can do the risk reward analysis and the return's not there. So people think about their reputation, whatever the case may be, and they say, I don't feel like doing it. So they stay quiet, and it makes it easy to smear hundreds of millions of people with all sorts of nasty, really nasty slurs, inappropriate slurs, things that shouldn't be said.
Interesting. Can you give us a little bit of behind the scenes of, did you get any feedback from your staff that were like, I don't want to work here anymore, this made me uncomfortable, I don't like my job? Like, did the environment get weird at Sticker Mule?
No. So before sending it, I survey people. I don't do anything like completely on my own. I have people. So I called a few people and I said, I try to get a feel for what people think. I said, hey, I wrote this. What do you think? And people that I knew, see people, and in general, we don't talk politics at Sticker Mill, so I don't really know people's particular political views. I do know people that like Trump because they come to me and they say they like Trump, but I don't know people's particular views, but you can get a sense for what are somebody's whatever, more left or more right. But we got everyone here. If you got a company with more than 4 people, you're going to have everyone. Like you got 75 people, so you got both sides at your company for sure. I got both sides at my company, so I talk to people right on both sides. And the Trump people were scared to send it. The people that were more left leaning wanted me to send it because realistically, Sticker Mill is a very diverse organization. We all get along. We have parties, we do events, we travel together, and it's guaranteed there's a mixture of people that like Trump and people that hate Trump at the same party, at the same on the same company trip, at the same event, going to we're all remote, so we're not always in the office together, but there's people on all different backgrounds in the factory. Everyone gets along. Everyone has a good time. So like the people that were more left leaning thought it was a good message, like because they're inside Sticker Mill and they said, you've created an atmosphere where everyone has a great time, and why can't it be like this, throughout the country, throughout the world?
So internally, not much like whiplash or anything like that. Externally, it was crazy to see other sticker companies like making ads to like be like, we don't politicize, buy our stickers, whatever. And like, oh, buy stickers from here. What about your sales? Up, down? Did it do anything?
It's too early to tell. Yeah, it's really too early to tell because there's a number of things at play. But like again, I don't really do anything to like try to make money or not make money. I tend to be fairly good at making money. It tends to happen. I didn't know what was going to happen when I did this. First of all, right? Were sales going to go up? Were sales going to go down? It's hard to tell because maybe you get all this PR and sales go up. Maybe you get all this negative. Who knows? I did know that like I'm the type of person, and that's why I'm not really training for boxing right now. I'm the type of person that like I'm going to do whatever it takes to make something a win, not just for for the company, but for society as a whole. I didn't do this to benefit myself or anything like that. I wanted to do something positive. So my concern wasn't for sales. I do have a concern for the well-being of our employees. And so I did, when I did it, I knew I was going to do whatever it takes to make this a win for the company, for our people, and for society as a whole. And that's why I'm talking to you guys, and I'm talking to other people as well.